You have to be careful about making a weird show or watching a weird show.
Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast, joined today, as I often am, by the indefatigable Giles Edwards.
That's me, though possibly gray and green today, depending upon my connection.
Yeah, Giles' video has been having some problems in our little pre-session, but seems to be going fine now, and his audio has always been just fine. So, how are things, Giles? Did you have any hurricane or tornadoes?
No, just normal smarch weather, if you know the Simpsons episode.
It's cursed smarch weather. Yeah, we had
Oh,
a
now
tornado.
I can't hear you. Oh, this is a killer start.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hmm.
You cannot hear me.
Oh, I heard that.
Oh, okay. You can.
Oh, they're telling
All
me
right.
my internet connection is unstable. Well, it must be because it's Thursday afternoon when we record.
All right. Well, we're going to try to get through it with we'll see if things get too bad. I guess we'll have to stop and restart. But we're gonna go ahead and try. Uh, as I was saying, a hurricane hit about a couple miles away from me last night. Or hurricane, a tornado hit
Hmm.
a couple miles. What do you see on the screen?
I see one still from a trailer, one still from the back of a Blu-ray case, one still from a steelbook, one black and white still, no doubt direct from the movie, and a pair of drooling gentlemen.
All right, so those are our five movies to talk about this week. One upcoming theatrical feature and four physical media releases. And the most interesting and exciting topic to discuss, which has the entire film world buzzing,
Buzzy.
as well as us, is this one, a trailer. Do you want to describe the still here?
Sure, we've got a nice drab, pale ochre wall here, exterior of, I don't know, a gas station or a convenience store. There is, against the odds, a payphone affixed to this wall, and speaking into the payphone is a sort of schlubby-looking middle-aged guy with a long mustache. I guess a redneck Fu Manchu, maybe, with a little soul patch there. Very large black wraparound sunglasses, beanie cap, plaid shirt over a gray sort of t-shirt looking thing. And he looks a little worried and is going so far as to be pointing at himself with his non-telephone hand, his left hand, right in his heart area, as if he's maybe just been accused of something.
Ah. The gentleman, although he's wearing dark glasses,
Mhm.
but I don't know if he's recognizable, but we do know who he is in reality.
Yeah.
It is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, and a less than common look for him.
Yes, looking a little rednecky, as you might say, and he is in starring in a trailer for a movie whose title is up on the screen, although anybody listening can't hear it, so or can't read it. So why don't you announce that title?
Title is One Battle After Another.
One Battle After Another, and it is from
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson directing Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie called One Battle After Another. And do you know in particular why this movie is sort of interesting?
Obviously there's the atypical Leonardo DiCaprio performance that the trailer illustrated there, and a smattering of other fine actors that Paul Thomas Anderson has worked with in the past, but I guess I'm not entirely certain what brought this to our eye other than the fact that we've kept vigilant about Mr. Anderson's work.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't know what the story comes from. then. The story is an adaptation described as maybe a loose adaptation of a Thomas Pynchon novel
Oh, okay.
called Vineland. And you remember what happened the last time Paul Thomas Anderson directed a Thomas Pynchon novel, don't you?
Yes, yes. We had a delightful romp with a private detective named Doc Sportello.
Yeah, and so surprisingly, we love that movie, of course, Inherent Vice. Uh, Yet I don't think movie ticket purchasers loved it as much as we did, and it lost a lot of money. And yet, for some reason, they're allowing Paul Thomas Anderson to do it again. Um, this is a $130 million budget, which almost guaranteed to lose money. Um, their hope, I guess, is Leonardo DiCaprio is a big enough draw, bigger than Joaquin Phoenix, that he's going to bring people in along with hopefully some Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
And I'm also guessing that I think it's Warner Brothers might not have allowed Paul Thomas Anderson to uh, do another Pynchon script unless he toned it down a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and who knows? And there's the chance also that he didn't tone it down, but Leonardo DiCaprio was enthusiastic maybe about what he saw there. So there's that possibility.
Well, that is our hope that he stays true to what he did in Inherent Vice, only with Leonardo DiCaprio this time instead of Joaquin Phoenix, and it's a success. It's definitely being released, and it's going to be released in the Oscar corridor. So this is something they are hoping will get some awards buzz. Did you see the trailer?
Yes, I did. It looked kind of oddball thriller.
Yes, yes. The trailer hopefully is toned down, but this very scene with him talking on the payphone is sort of the keynote part of the trailer where he Leonardo DiCaprio has to repeat a long sequence of passwords to whoever his contact is on the other end of the phone, and he has some difficulty remembering the absurd amount of passwords that he needs to.
Yeah, and see, I believe his memory lapsed somewhere around the fifth coded reply, and
Yeah,
that he didn't know what time it was.
right. And so this is, he's going to play, according to the description in Variety, DiCaprio plays a hard-living revolutionary who's trying to rescue his kidnapped daughter in offbeat, oft hilarious footage. His struggles to remember the password, well, we knew that. And he discusses having fried his brain, which is a very Doc Sportello. Although he's I guess, a recovered Doc Sportello rather than a currently high Doc Sportello.
Say later career Sportello, perhaps.
Yeah,
And
perhaps.
speaking of which, according to trivia on IMDb, Joaquin Phoenix was actually originally cast as the lead
Now
before it
that
was
would have
handed
been
to Mr. DiCaprio.
the possibility there. Just speculation is that the studio demanded that they swap him out if they could get DiCaprio.
No.
But yeah, so we're hopeful for that. It's not, 100% guaranteed to be weird. Love Paul Thomas Anderson. Actually, love him up until Inherent Vice. Then his next two movies didn't do it for me. Phantom Thread and Licorice Pizza. He kind of retreated from the weirdness that he had been building to in his back-to-back masterpieces, in my opinion. I'll go that far. The Master and Inherent Vice. And no one liked Inherent Vice except us. So
Well.
it's not true that no one, but
I'm intrigued also. It seems that this movie is not quite 3 hours, so that at least suggests plenty of room for excess.
plenty of room for excess, and that's what we're hoping for. So one battle after another, the big one everybody will be looking forward to probably in the fall,
Yeah, September 20 something.
September 20 something. So just mark your calendars for September 20 something. Um, and uh, so that's one battle after another. Now we're into physical media releases, a couple of re-releases. Well, this is the debut. This one's debut on Blu-ray. Giles, do you want to describe parts of the back cover here?
Sure. Bottom third is taken up entirely by blur, credit and spec stuff. Top of it has a youngish couple looking at each other with what looks like still fresh love in their eyes. A woman on the left with her hair done up in the back, looking comfortable at home and gazing at her with affection is similarly aged fellow of I'm gonna say Asian lineage. And in the middle is a sort of giveaway to what's actually going on, in that we see some not quite cartoon style, sort of mid CGI looking Avatar-esque renditions of these characters, flanking a buoy that has a little searchlight looking thing that appears to be gazing up into the sky.
Yes, and of course this is
This is, oh gosh, Love Me.
Love Me with Kristen Stewart and oh gosh, the gentleman's name.
Stephen Yun.
Stephen Ewan. Yeah, okay. He's a very, very accomplished actor. I just fled my mind for a second. And yeah, so yes, this is a weird, a mainstream weird movie, I'd say. It's weird to mainstream people, and it's weird enough to be weird. It is about a post-apocalyptic love affair between a buoy and a satellite, after all humanity has gone extinct, who recreate life, human life, via avatars. And it's a romance, and it's true to that genre, but it's weird enough to sort of transcend its genre.
Yeah.
It also has, I haven't mentioned before, a complete piano score throughout that's like a silent movie score, which is another
Oh,
little
cool.
weird touch I don't think I had mentioned before on the show. Um, Date night movie for weird people, I'd say.
Yeah, or one weird person trying to coax their counterpart.
Into, yes. So that is Love Me, now out on Blu-ray. And then we have the next one, rather startling looking cover. Go
Hmm.
ahead and describe, if you will, Giles.
Sure thing. This is the cover for a Japanese animation. One of the first things that catches the eye, aside from the dominant center figure, is a profusion of, oh, I'm going to say squirrels. Yellow anime style squirrels with sort of prominently toothed deadpan expressions, a number of them holding acorns, large acorns, and all of them, I think, are wearing little white t-shirts that feature acorns on them, and they're scattered liberally about the action frame with the action central character who looks like maybe he's leaping from, oh, I think that might be a library of some sort. You can barely make out rows of volumes at the bottom. This central character is looking really, really badass. He's got his fists plunging forward in a heroic jump kind of thing, a pair of action goggles, a championship style belt, holding up some tight track pants. He's got one of those poofy red vest things that were mysteriously popular for, well, popular might be too strong a word. That one mysteriously came across for about a 10-year stretch from the late 80s through the late 90s. And this figure, I believe, is a somewhat stylized rabbit, judging from the color of the fur and the ears, but considerably more anthropomorphized than the many surrounding squirrels which festoon this steelbook cover.
Yeah, it's hard to be badass, I think, when you're a bunny rabbit, but yeah, I guess he achieves that that paradox. And it is called,
Summer Wars.
and it's from
The director Mamoru Hosoda.
Mamoru Hosoda. Giles, I don't know. Have you seen any Mamoru Hosodas?
I not to my
Might
knowledge.
have seen one in like that one of the you did a couple of reviewed a couple of
Oh yeah.
anthologies for us. He's done several anthology, or he's been a contributor to some anthologies. He's known for things like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Wolf Children, Belle, The Boy and the Beast, and this one, 2009, which is a set in a mostly set in a virtual reality type world where which explains the badass rabbit avatar and perhaps the floating squirrels as well, although I don't recall them. Yeah, but it's a people, animation fans are well aware of this movie. The artwork is very cyber psychedelic, I'd say,
Mhm.
and pretty. He's pretty well known in that world. Didn't think it was exceptionally weird, more of a science fiction type thing with some very psychedelic elements to it. There's a villain who's kind of a nod to the demon from Fantasia, and there are lots of very explicit references to the Wizard of Oz, at least in the English translation. And it's also a very nationalist movie for Japan. It's all about the theme and the message are all about the importance of Japanese traditional family values. And this is a 4K UHD. I think it's exclusively a 4K UHD. I'm not 100% sure from the description. It is an Amazon exclusive and it is a steelbook. Um, no, actually, now look, I can see at the very corner there, it says Ultra HD and Blu-ray. So there is a
Ah,
Blu-ray included,
yeah.
which is good. Um, Giles, any thoughts? Do you know anything else about this one or any thoughts?
I do not, but yeah, I just quickly looked up, excuse me, Mamoru Hosoda's pedigree, and yeah, it seems he's been involved in a lot of Japanese animated television, which would be one reason why I'm perhaps less familiar than I might prefer to be. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks interesting enough. You know me, I like 4K and Steelbook, and you know those squirrels. My only fear might be that the cover is overselling the number of squirrels that one might hope to encounter.
I really think it is overselling the number of squirrels. I don't recall the squirrels. Of course, I haven't seen it in quite a few years. Hosoda's actually pretty good crossover for American audiences. He's well known, like I said, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Belle, Boy and the Beast, all fairly well known among Americans. This one I think is very culturally Japanese and intended for a domestic audience, whereas some of the other ones were more universal and accessible. This did not do very well when I think G Kids released it to theaters, um, or not at least as well as they had hoped.
Mm,
Um, but it's worthwhile, certainly for the animation style, which can be quite eye-catching.
nice.
But speaking of Japan, this one, of course, is a re-release that's been on DVD where I saw it, Blu-ray, and so forth. This one is going to be new to the Blu-ray ranks. Giles, would you like to describe the still that I've selected for this one?
Sure. We've got a head-on shot of what looks like the interior of might be a minimalist apartment, has office overtones. It's certainly black and white with and bare walls and I get a doctor's office vibe here, but I could well be mistaken considering the geographic location and time frame when this was made. This sort of boring wall space, however, is delightfully overcome with the energy of three men kind of exploding toward the camera through the door that is at the center of the frame. In the foreground, heading first in, is sort of, I'm gonna say middle-aged, somewhat salaryman looking fellow, but who can say? He's got some paper tape bandaging around his fingers and hand, and it looks like he's holding some sort of implement. It's not a firearm, but it's something. And immediately behind him to his right, crouching down and trying to squeeze by and around, is a fellow with his head shaved, wearing a black suit, black tie, white shirt kind of thing, cufflinks. He is certainly holding a firearm, and crouched in the corner of the door to the center figure's left is a third guy who's in a sort of light blazer looking thing, more of a mop top haircut than either of his compatriots. Black shirt, I can tell from the sleeve there. And he too, like the other flanking gentleman, also has a firearm. So something exciting is going on in this drab space.
Yeah, and it's got a great English title, doesn't it? You know the title? You know the title. I know you know the title.
I do know the title. This is a still from Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands.
Yeah, Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands. And Giles, did you watch the trailer for this?
I did. It looks like there's some memory or time repetition going on. A whole lot of hard-boiled, grisly noir elements happening, aided certainly with the black and white, which makes sense because this is recently restored, but the movie itself was, when did this come out?
1967.
1967. So, and certainly in Japan, that was a very good year for noir influences to still have strong echoes. Definitely revenge motifs, and yeah, as I was saying, the timeline seems a little dodgy.
Yes, it's very flashback oriented and so forth. Um, Now, you may not have seen this particular movie, but it gave me very strong vibes of a certain film when I watched the trailer, and that's before I knew who made it. Do you know what movie I'm referring to that it gave me
Oh,
very
I'm
strong
sure I'll
vibes?
kick myself once you tell me.
Gave me very strong vibes of Branded to Kill from Sage
Oh, yep.
Miyazaki.
Yeah,
And
I'll kick myself.
curiously, it came out in the same year as Branded to Kill, and it was directed by one of the co-writers of Branded to Kill.
Mhm.
And this is another movie featuring a Yakuza hitman. Did you see Branded to Kill, Giles?
I must have. Yes.
Oh, good.
It was a while back, but yeah, I certainly remember um, a very chic noir thing.
Yes. This is from Deaf Crocodile, a rediscovery. I believe this is the first time it's ever been on US video, home video. Don't quote me on that, but Deaf Crocodile usually it's either the first time it's ever been on or it's been a long time and it was probably only on VHS. I'm going to read the description from
Mhm.
Deaf Crocodile's website to get you interested in this one, which I think may be the weirdest film of the week for sure. Every day at 3 o'clock, I've been killing you in my daydreams, murmurs low-rent hitman Sho, haunted by the death of his girlfriend 5 years earlier and seeking revenge on the gangster who killed her in director/writer Atsushi Yamatoya's eerie, seedy, dreamlike noir with fractured time-bending overtones of John Boorman's Point Blank and Christopher Nolan's Memento. Yamatoya co-wrote Seijun Suzuki's Branded to Kill, released the same year as this, and the films are companion pieces in many ways, subversive and jarring with strange flashbacks, inexplicable dialogue and song lyrics. And then there's a quote, inserts that shatter the fourth wall, and a dissonant free jazz score. Sounds perfect for me.
Yeah.
Produced by Keiko Sato, one of the few female producers in the underground Japanese pink film genre, the absurdly titled Inflatable Sex Doll is comparable to similar movies by American erotic auteurs Russ Meyer, Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, and Radley Metzger at their most art house. The feverish S&M vibe and lurid black and white cinematography is like a junkie smack-induced nightmare. So yeah, it sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah.
I love smack-induced nightmares as long as they're not real.
And black and white ones are just, that much cooler.
Yes, and it does come through in the trailer a little bit. This is going to be a more lurid entry than Branded to Kill was. A lot more sex and, being a pink film, some rape in it. So beware of that if that is something that turns you off. It's going to be very sexually seedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it looks great to me. It's the kind of movie I'm really excited to see a companion piece to Branded to Kill that I've never seen before. That is right up my alley. And something that might be more right up Giles's alley is coming up next. So let's see what we have here.
All right, this is still from an animation. These are the two drooling gentlemen I mentioned at the start of the podcast. Big burly black guys in dark shades wearing charcoal gray-black suits, white collared shirt and tie. They look ready for anything if it weren't for the fact that they both seem to be foaming at the mouth. But then again, perhaps that's how they get into the zone there.
Okay, that was short and sweet. It's done in a style that's reminiscent of.
Well, I'd say it's very Plymptonian.
It's unmistakable. If you've ever seen one of this guy's sketches, you'll know anything he's done. It's Bill Plympton, and the title of the movie is
Mutant Aliens.
from 2001, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's
Correct. 2001. Yeah, so did you watch the trailer to this one?
yeah, I watched the trailer to this. It definitely was a great showcase for the kinds of images to expect either in this movie or really any given Plympton movie that I can think of. A little light on the plot, but my supposition is that plot is secondary to the wonderful flights of fantasy that the artist in question is so capable going on. It involves mutant aliens. It involves a space hero. It involves a menacing and corrupt government agency. So yes, a lot of general adventure-y kind of things coupled with the very elastic absurdism of Bill Plympton's animation style.
Yes, yes, it's very weird in the drawings themselves. Probably the plot itself is more going to be looks like a parody of 1950s sci-fi alien invasion movies. I will say, important only to me is the fact that the trailer uses Amy Allison's Shadow of a Man as the soundtrack, which
Yeah,
have
yeah,
nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. But it proves to me that Bill Plympton's musical tastes are exactly the same as mine because I thought I was the only person who had ever heard Amy Allison's Shadow of a Man and really liked it. So and the music he chose for movies like Idiots and Angels are all stuff that's in my regular rotation. So
Nice.
it's just bizarre that our musical tastes are so aligned, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to read you This is also Deaf Crocodile, so I'm
Mm.
going to read you Deaf Crocodile's description. Legendary animator Bill Plympton's lovably twisted tribute to alien invasion films a la The Quatermass Experiment, 20 Million Miles to Earth, and Mars Attacks features an American astronaut named Earl Jensen who's intentionally stranded in space by his evil boss, Dr. Frubar. 20 years later, his now grown daughter Josie is an astronomer with some serious lust for her hunky boyfriend. Their hanky-panky is both R-rated and hilarious, with his phallus in turns transforming into a charging rhino, steam train, and exploding volcano.
Hitting all the tropes there. Good, good.
Their lovemaking and Dr. Frubar's evil plans are both interrupted by the unexpected return of her missing father, astronaut Earl, who reveals he has apparently survived in space for the past 2 decades on a planet peopled, if that's the right word, by aliens who resemble human body parts, tongues, fingers, eyeballs, and unidentified pink blobs. As brilliantly weird as ever for Plympton, Mutant Aliens is also surprisingly sexy. Astronaut Earl's liaison with the fleshy pink alien blob queen shows that even in outer space, love knows no boundaries. Plympton also shares with David Lynch a kind of perverse wholesomeness in his fascination with nostalgic 1950s Americana, undercut by gleefully wicked sense of the bizarre and surreal. So
I,
yeah, it sounds pretty good.
I
This
can
is
see.
a Plimpton movie I hadn't heard of before. Um, it's interesting that Deaf Crocodile is releasing some of Plimpton's movies. Plimpton used to be releasing all the movies himself, and he has a huge catalog of underseen, I should say, not unseen, animated features that are just too weird for the general public, but definitely have a fan base. Before I forget, I did want to mention that both these Deaf Crocodile movies, Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands and Mutant Aliens, are available for pre-order only right now, directly from Deaf Crocodile. Um, I love Deaf Crocodile, but I don't like the fact that, as with a lot of these boutique labels, um, they give you the date for pre-orders and then don't tell you when it's going to be delivered. Just that it's going to come sometime this month if you order. But they don't tell you when it's officially shipping. And uh, these will show up at retailers, basically Amazon and Barnes and Noble and so forth, after a while. For now, you can only order them from the website.
Yeah,
Um,
I have ordered Mutant Aliens. I follow Deaf Crocodile on one of my social media accounts, and it's like, more Plimpton. And I can certainly speak to his love of 1950s nostalgia with hearty doses of absurdism. The Tune, his movie, is very much that. Once I get this, I'll be impressed if I find what Mr. Plimpton animates can be remotely construed as sexy. He's a
Sexy both.
very talented animator. I'd say he's at the top of the field, but yeah, there's always some grotesque going on there. So I guess
Yeah,
I'll find out.
that's true. I've never thought of Bill Plympton as particularly sexy. A sexy, not, he's not sexy in himself, although maybe,
I,
maybe his wife thinks he's sexy, but he, there are a couple of shorts on this film, on this disc too, which is nice for people. Plimpton has 91 directorial credits. As to how many of those are features, I don't know. They're mostly shorts. He's done a ton of shorts. He's constantly putting out shorts. I don't know how many feature-length films he has, uh, but this is, let's see if I can bring it up. I don't know. He's got a lot. Maybe 16,
yeah, I'd
maybe.
say yeah, one to two
Um,
dozen.
yeah, so there's a lot to explore there that we never have. He's extremely prolific. along with being majorly talented and a independent voice in animation and cinema in general. And so that should do it for this week's announcements. Do you have anything to add in the short remaining time we have, Giles?
Oh, no, nothing particular further. We will retread some work that you covered this past week at the start of the month with a slightly different review for those who've been waiting for that one. But
Giles is referring to Tommy, of course. Tommy, he disagrees with me, I think, on whether Tommy should be on the list or not. So,
well phrased.
yeah, Tommy is coming up next week from Giles, and I'll have something myself and all sorts of writing on the website. We don't have any guests scheduled for next week. I am looking into getting some more guests on the show. We do need more guests, and I need to work harder at inviting people. So look forward to that in the coming days. But nothing next week. We will just see you and go through this rigmarole again with a new slate of movies for the week. For this week, Inflatable Sex Dolls of the Wastelands, I think, and Giles probably thinks Mutant Aliens.
And the fact that we can have both is just great.
Yeah, just great. Something for everyone here on 366 Weird Movies. And so we say bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.